Now let's talk about regular expressions. A regular expression is a sequence of characters that specifies a search pattern. Usually such patterns are used by string searching algorithms to find and replace operations on a string, or for input validation. The patterns are general and are not specific to PHP. You can learn and practice regular expressions, or regex for short, at regex 101. Now let's talk about regular expressions in PHP. In PHP, your regular expression should go between this. Any pattern you have would be something like this. Now the first thing we want to do, we want to check a string against a pattern to see if it matches that pattern or not. Let's see how we can do that in PHP. There are many functions, but we are going to talk about two functions that are so useful and super powerful. The first one is pregmatch. Pregmatch needs three arguments. The first argument is the pattern, the second argument is the string, and the third argument is a variable name. Here we call matches. Now what does this function do? This function goes through the string and checks for this pattern, and if there are any matches, it would save those matches in this variable. If there are any matches, at the end it would return 1, otherwise it would return 0. So let's see an example. Here I have a string that says hello world and hello YouTube. Okay, and my pattern is, as I said, it should go in between those. So my pattern is that I'm looking for the word word. Okay, so now I want to check if this word exists in my string. As you can see, I haven't specified matches. This matches is going to be filled with this function. Afterwards, if there are any matches, I can access them with this variable. So let's see what it returns. Now to check if our pattern exists, we can always put this function in a conditional. I could say if pregmatch, so it would check. If pregmatch returns 1, we go inside this section, otherwise it would return 0 and we go here. So here I can say, here now that I know that there were some matches, I can echo them. Let's say print are those matches. Otherwise I can say echo there weren't any match. Okay, let's see what it returns. Let me comment this part out. php index.php and I'll get word. Now if I change it to YouTube, it would still tell me that there was a match, but if I change it to something else and run my code, I will get here because it would return 0, and I would come here and I say, okay, there weren't any match. Now I want to tell you about the second function that I said is so useful and super powerful. The first one was pregmatch. The second one is pregreplace. Pregreplace needs three arguments. The first argument is the pattern. The second argument is replacement. This can be an array of strings or one string. This replacement will be replaced in this string. This string again can be a string or an array. Our function pregreplace goes through this string or array of string and checks for this pattern, and if it finds that pattern, it will replace it with these replacements, and at the end it will return the changed string. So I'm going to store that in a variable. New string equals to pregreplace. My pattern, let me copy that from here and then comment this part out. Okay, I have a string hello world, hello YouTube. I want to change hello to, let's say I want to replace it with hi. So now this pregreplace would go through this string and checks for the pattern with the word hello, and if it exists it would replace it with hi. Let's see the new string, echo new string. Let's see what we'll get. Hi world, hi YouTube. As you can see, it has replaced both of the hellos. Now if I had some pattern that was not found in the strings like this, it would return the original string, hello world, hello YouTube. Now let's go back to hello again. As you have seen that it has changed both of the hellos to highs. But what if I wanted to limit it? I want to only replace the first one it found. Then there is another optional argument that we can add, and that's the limit. By default it will replace all the matches, but if I set the limit to 1, it would replace only the first one. Hi board, hello YouTube. It has changed this one and the limit is 1, so it didn't change the second one. As I said, it's super powerful and it's super useful, especially if you're dealing with a lot of strings. This preg replace and preg match are your friends. Now we have reached the end of regular expression. Let's go to the next topic.